just in about 2.5 months, that reel has been viewed and played over 1.3 million times. There were 3 solid reels in the course of 90 days that have grown my account by 10,000 followers. And these are all like real people. They're not bots. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the podcast this week. I have had a aha light bulb moment in the last week, and I want to share it with you. So over the last, I think I've been on Instagram for 11 or 12 years now. I remember I got it when nobody else had it because my sister had moved to Thailand. And the only way that she could communicate with the family was on this little app, this brand new app called Instagram. And I remember telling her, I've got Facebook, I have my blog. I don't really have time for anything new. And she said, I totally understand. But she was posting all of her stuff there. And so I ended up getting the app and starting an account. And it was a place where I just shared everything about my kids and where I watched her adventures and started following all my friends and other family members. And then as the years went on, I started hearing about this thing called influencers, which if you'll notice, there's such a negative connotation to the word influencer now that even influencers themselves have changed their name. They are now referring to themselves as creators, content creators, but they'll be like getting creators together. I'm a creator. Are you a creator? And I've seen that happen in the network marketing industry too. Some people have a really negative reaction to the phrase network marketers. They don't want to be called network marketers because there's some negative connotations attached to that. And so what has the network marketing industry started to call themselves? Social sellers, same thing. So influencers are now referring to themselves as creators. And when influencers first started to come about in about, 2016, 2017, it started getting really heavy. And brands like Target and other big brands were paying influencers to get deals and market their products for them if you had a certain amount of followers. And this is around the time when they introduced the swipe up feature. Again, not sure about my dates. I'm just going off of what my memory serves me. So I didn't do research for this episode on what day it was actually created or anything like that. But as far as when I remember seeing it and starting it, and it was about 2017 where there was something that I all of a sudden realized I needed more followers for, and it was for the swipe up. They don't have that anymore, but it used to be that if you had 10,000 followers or more on Instagram, there was a swipe up. And the swipe up allowed you to link products. It did a couple of things. Number one, you could link your website so people could directly buy by swiping up. But because mostly only influencers were using this feature on Instagram, it became this elite status symbol to be able to swipe up and buy my shirt, swipe up and buy my protein shake, swipe up and get this sweater, whatever it was a big deal. And so I knew I needed to do whatever it would take. But posting on social media and doing it the way that I was doing it, just posting about my friends and family and my network marketing company, wasn't growing my following at the rate that I needed to grow at. And this was around the time where I started hearing this underground movement for loops. And it was something that was a really fast way that you could buy followers. And many, many people did it. Not everyone did it, but it was sort of something that you kind of whispered to your friends about. If they had 50,000 followers, you were like, how did you do that? And they'd be like, shh, here's my girl. You can get in on this loop and you can pay $600 and they'll put your name in and you'll just get instant followers. Well, I was late to the loop frenzy. So while other people had been doing loops for about a year prior, I was late to the loop. And so by the time I got into loops, they were mostly bot accounts that were following you. They were not as successful. You would put money in and maybe only grow by 2,000 or 3,000, where before you would grow by like 10, 15, 20,000. Well, then Instagram got smart about this because people were making money as influencers, and there were big, huge companies like Walmart and Target that were making deals with influencers before they would post, and they would pay an influencer $5,000 for one post or $10,000 for a post and 2 stories or whatever it is that they agreed upon. And so they were starting to realize that some influencers would post and it wouldn't get the traction that they had thought it was going to based off of the numbers, because so many of the people following them were bots. Now, again, this is not all influencers. This was just, hit or miss, like whoever built their account in this way to make the numbers right. So anyway, when this craze was happening, they started putting different things on influencers. They would say, you'd have to screenshot us your insights. And if you didn't have the right amount, then then they would cancel your agreement with them and you wouldn't be able to do business with them anymore as these larger corporations, because they wanted to see the facts. They wanted to see what percentage of your account was being followed by US accounts, because those accounts were going to be more profitable as far as sales went versus people that had a bunch of people in like Santo Domingo or in South America or in like the Middle East or somewhere like that. And so anyway, I grew my account with loops for about 6 months, and I got it to be around, I think at one point it got up to like 19K. But of course, once the giveaway was closed, then you lost several thousand followers, but you would still inch forward enough and lose some, inch forward and lose them, that if you did them over and over again, it would grow and then fall and grow and then fall, but you still sort of be ahead. And so I would say that there were probably about 5,000 people following me around this time that were not people that I had naturally, organically got. And so over the years, I wish that I could undo that, because what I didn't know is that it was actually hurting my visibility because I didn't have real people following me. So when I realized that this was a bad thing that I was doing and it was hurting my engagement, I was like, stop, abort, SOS, stop. And at that time, I just decided, people were starting talking about posting in a niche and doing all these things. And so I like ran after that, and I started posting about, what did I start posting about in the beginning? I can't even remember what I did, you guys, but there was a couple of different niches that I tried out. None of them worked because they were all very, I was trying to plan it out based off of what I thought other people were going to want to hear from me. And it was not anything that ever worked. And then after like 2 years of that, then I decided to just talk about money, but I was still trying to post with, I just want to grow my network marketing business. And so my niche always had like an end in sight of like, I'm only doing this because I'm trying to get this result. And one of the things that I always teach you here on the podcast and in my paid community is that what you think creates your results. And if your intentions are not in line with what you're putting out, people are going to feel that. And I knew that, and I still had amazing success in my network marketing business, but I just never had that edge on Instagram that I saw other influencers have. And I was like, I can't do that though, because I only want to sell my network marketing product, right? Like that was my goal. In fact, I remember hiring an ad agency once, and they said to me, do you want to sell your network marketing business or do you want to be an influencer? And I was like, duh, I want to be a network marketer. I make way more money than the influencers make. Like, this is a no-brainer to me. And they were like, well, you can't do both. And I didn't understand what they meant at the time. But anyway, so I've spent years, like following people like Brock Johnson and Chalene Johnson, and watched how they train. I did Insta Club Hub for a month and then canceled it. And I've tried all of these different things. just to try and like learn everything that's out there. And then all of a sudden, a year ago, I felt really, really called to start sharing my survivor story of trauma and abuse. And if you don't follow me over on my personal account, it is Imagine Emmeline on Instagram. So at Imagine Emmeline. And like overnight, I just decided I'm just going to post only things about that. That's all. I'm just going to post that and I'm just going to see how my account grows. And for the first 6 months, it didn't grow any better. And I was only posting about things inside of that niche of trauma and abuse. However, I still wanted to sort of put my network marketing foot forward. I still was trying to make my Instagram platform have many different purposes. And because of that, there were things that I wouldn't say I was purposely filtering, but I just had a hard time finding my voice because for so long I was trying to be network marketing Emily that in the end wanted to sign everybody up and always wanted to get people to do the business with me. And so my intentions were really good behind that because I believed in my product and I believed in the network marketing business. And I knew that if I could just get them to get to know me and love me and fall in love with what I was putting out, that they would trust me. And then I could get them to take the products and then I could get them to possibly do the business with me. And that would actually help them in all the areas of their life that they were struggling. And because I had this solid belief, I was so dead set on that, right? Well, then about 6 months ago, I really just decided that all I wanted to do was be a coach and step into my coaching business. And well, that it was a little bit more. I'm off on my times here. So it would have been like that was like a year ago that I did that, right around the time where I started just posting in this one niche. And I've trained people for so long, like drop the niche. You don't need a niche to be successful. And I still stand behind that. That's because most people are not exhausting their warm market like they think they are. And it's your warm market that's always going to build your network marketing business. And then going through other people's warm markets as you sign them up and taproot into all of their communities and networks. That is how you build a very strong legacy network marketing business. And I've taught you those things over and over again. I'll continue to teach those things over and over again. But what really was this aha, mind-blowing moment for me is after about 8 months of posting in my niche and seeing, like not really anything of big growth. Like I was just testing it out. I was like, well, I'll just post only about this and see what happens. And what I noticed is I didn't really have any great growth, whether I was posting about my personal life or whether I was posting about just in a niche specific topic. And so I was like, I just don't believe in the niche. Like it doesn't really grow your account as big as people say it does. And then on the 4th of July, I had this reel idea come to mind. And it was something that I just all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that happening. I remember my abuser doing things like this. And I remember doing this. And so I made a reel about it. And because it was on the 4th of July, I remember thinking, oh, we should just save this till tomorrow. We should record it tomorrow. No one's going to see it today. And it's not going to be something that everyone's going to miss it. And I thought, oh, whatever, let's just post it and just put it out there. And then we'll move on to something else tomorrow. And I posted that reel and it has been viewed over 1.3 million times since the 4th of July. When I'm recording this episode, it is the last week of August. And so just in about 2.5 months, that reel has been viewed and played over 1.3 million times. And that reel alone grew my account by 4,000 followers. I didn't have makeup on. I had just finished a workout. my eyes looked really like my pupils were like super, super teeny tiny because I was sitting out in the sun. I hadn't washed my face. Like my hair was like 2 inches of roots. It was yellow because I needed to use some purple shampoo in a really bad way. Like it was not the ideal condition, but because I spoke to something that I had personally gone through in a way to help other people understand a situation where they might be going through it and where they would feel heard, it took off. And all of a sudden I was like, why don't I just make reels like that every day where I just speak to specific situations that I've been in, but don't talk about it in my victim voice, like what happened to me and blah, blah, but talk about it in a way of teaching and educating. And what I have seen happen is that it really only takes one reel. Just like I say in building a network marketing business, it really only takes one person to change everything in your business. The same goes for social media. So since then, my account has almost grown by almost 10,000 new followers since July 4th. So 4,000 of them came from that one reel. And then what that did to my thoughts was all of a sudden I was like, I should just post more like that. Instead of planning out content, it's literally just remembering what I learned from things that I've been through and sharing those things. Like what I wish I would have known when this happened to me is this. What I've learned since this happened to me is this. And helping people feel heard, helping people feel seen, helping them work through a challenge that they're going through in their life, it has changed everything. It's freed me from filtering my voice on social media, even though I would say I was not filtering before. I've always been an open book on social media from the day I started my blog in 2008. And so I've been practicing vulnerability and authenticity, gosh, like for 15 years on social media. But and even before then, when Facebook was out and MySpace and all that, I wouldn't say that AOL chat rooms were authentic for me in any way. my just to put this into perspective, I was not like I would say I was like an average looking teenager. I didn't have like a particularly fit body. I really cared that I had like hair that looked nice, surprise, surprise. And I would like put makeup on and all those things that a 13-year-old might do. But AOL chat rooms, you couldn't see what the people looked like. So it was just their handle, if you will, but that's not what it's called. I think it was called like your username. Anyway, I wanted to make myself look more appealing, like I was like a super cool girl or like a girl that boys actually wanted to date, which I was not. And so my AOL chat name was Super Babe 89. And when initially it was like Emily Gibson 82. Well, nobody wanted to chat with Emily Gibson 82, but everybody wanted to chat with Super Babe 80. Oh, I think it must have been Super Babe 82. I don't know why it would have been 89. Anyway, I think it was Super Babe 82. Anyway, once I changed that one handle, everybody wanted to chat with me. And I would spend like 12 hours a day in AOL chat rooms. In fact, I remember my mom getting a bill once because it was charged by the minute back then. And she was like, chat rooms for you. I think it was like $900 or something, but I was so bored in the summer. I was living with her in Las Vegas where she lived. I had no friends there. She lived in a retirement community and all my friends were back in California because I lived with my dad during the school year and my mom in the summers. And at the time she was living in Las Vegas and it was the most boring summer of my life. And so I was just on AOL chat rooms. Anyway, so other than that experience, I've always shown up very authentically. I would say more authentic than most people that I know on social media. I'm able to share stories, share things that happen to me that would be horrifying to other people. They would never want anyone to read it. And for me, it's my place where I go and heal through whatever has happened, whether it's embarrassing or mortifying or terrifying or happy. I love putting it out on social media. So anyway, even though I would consider myself to be someone that shared authentically, on the 4th of July, when I made that reel and I saw how much people really loved it and the content that they really started engaging to, I leaned into that specific content, which is what I wanted to post about all along, but never felt like I could. That's when everything took off. So the first 4,000 followers came from that one reel, and it just kept going. It's still going. It still gets 5 to 10,000 views a day. It's never died. I used to think that like you just had, like maybe a week at most, and then you had to create new content. Not true. Because when people share it, it's like this game of like telephone tag, and it's just like lives on forever. And so it just continues to just grow and grow and grow. It's been so fun to see it go. I remember getting 100,000 followers on it, and I was like, wow, I mean, that's like amazing. I had only ever had one other reel that had hit 500,000. It was when I did the mix tiles on my wall. And most people were just mad that I wasn't doing them in straight lines. And so they were like mad in the comments about that, but it got it more views because people were fighting in the comments about how annoying it was that they weren't straight. And they were so mad at me that it wasn't straight. And so this one was actually like content that was my voice that I had created, that I was sharing just off the top of my head, something that I wanted to get off my chest and help someone with. And so then it got past 500,000 a couple of weeks later. And I was like, I'll be darned. Like, this is amazing. And then it hit 1 million. And in this time, because I had sort of given myself permission to just talk more boldly and speak of my personal experiences, but not in a way of like poor me, in a way of like, this is what I wish I would have known back then. And this is what I want you to know. And I want you to feel heard, and this, that, and the other. Then other reels of mine started taking off, but there's really only been like 3 up until now. I would say in the last 72 hours, it's almost like everything I put out is just being gobbled up, and it's just being shared and viewed and going super fast to 50,000 views. But there were 3 solid reels in the course of 90 days that have grown my account by 10,000 followers. And these are all like real people. They're not bots. Like, we don't ever go down. My account just grows anywhere from 200 to 400 followers a day. And it was finally when, it sounds so stupid, but it's finally when I stopped trying to do what I thought you were supposed to do, that it worked. And so if Instagram growth is difficult for you, and you find that you're doing everything that all of these, like social media, Instagram growing people are telling you to do, my number one tip for you is to recognize that it really only takes one to take off for you to find your voice and for you to lean into that, and then gather lots of people that will continue to follow even after that like first 72 hours to a week has passed. And then from there, again, it's only going to take another 2 or 3 reels to get the momentum growing on your account for it to just grow like wildfire. And so it's no different than your network marketing business. And this was like the big aha moment for me this week, as I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same. Momentum is built by one shift, by one thing. And in my office, I don't know if you have this ever, but I have this on my website. I have this thought journal that I custom created. My graphic designer, Jossie, she made it look all beautiful. But I remember I wrote it in a notebook. I was like, this is what I want here. This is what I want here. I want it to say this and this and this. And then she created this really beautiful version of it for all of you. You can buy it on my website. You can just go to emilygibsoncoaching.com/shop, and you can buy one. Or you can buy a 4-pack, I believe, and there is a discount on the 4-pack. But it's literally a thought coaching journal. And the very first quote inside of the thought coaching journal says, you are just one person away from everything changing in your business. And this is my quote. I said this because this is something that I learned in my network marketing business. As I watched my team grow, I realized that whenever I was in a slump, whenever my team was not in momentum, and it was always in momentum because I was always constantly recruiting and duplicating and getting business builders, but there were times where I would feel like it wasn't as strong as others, where there would be a lull, and we weren't growing at the rate that I wanted it to grow at. And I started realizing that all it would take would be one new builder to come on the team and just whoosh it up. We could literally go from being 1,500 points away. And those of you that are based on volume, that would be equivalent to like $130 of product times like 300 people ordering, just to put that in perspective for you, because I know we have so many different people in our community now. Inside of Beyond the Rank, we have over 20 different network marketing companies that I work with now, and it's so amazing. It's literally my dream come true. This is always what I wanted to do because I love the network marketing industry so much, and I love showing people how to get to the top of any company with the skills and systems that I created and learned as I built my team over a decade in the network marketing industry. And so it's been so fun to work with top leaders in over 20 different companies now, and then have their teams join. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for allowing me to serve you and teach you and show you how to win in these timeless systems that I created when I was struggling through this myself for a decade. Anyway, what I learned is that you could literally be struggling in momentum, and then one person would join and you would literally go up in, 1,500 points, or whatever, like, what would that be? Like 135 times 300. What is that, you guys? Oh my gosh. Anyway, like maybe tens of $1,000s in volume, where you just go forward in 90 days in that, because it's just one person that can change everything in your network marketing business. And what I know to be true now about Instagram and social media growth is you're just one reel away from going forward 10,000 followers. And while I'm not actively posting about my network marketing business on my social media anymore, because I'm really a coach now. But it was like this aha moment of, oh my gosh, all the network marketers need to do this, because I literally have 10,000 new prospective clients that are following me now. And it was because I decided to post something that had been on my heart, that was authentic to me, that what I wish I would have known then that I know now, that I think could help you where you are now to get you to where you might want to be in the future. And so my number one tip to you to grow your social media account so you can increase customers is to go through your accounts, especially on, you can do it on Facebook and you can do it on Instagram, and it would really work on any social media platform. But when you go through, I want you to look at the videos that have the most engagement and the most comments. And I want you to make notes about what it was about that post. What did you post about? What made it special? What made it something that people wanted to engage with? And then create content just like that. And then number two, remember that if you are looking at social media as a means to an end, it's not going to love you back as well as if you have no intention. When I started posting in the way that I did on July 3rd, it was literally the moment where I was like, you know what? I am never going to earn $1 off of this, because I don't want to create a community that is just servicing the trauma community. I really want to just lean into my network marketing business. My network marketing coaching business. And so I just was like, I'm probably never going to make $1 off of any of this content. This is just going to be a service project for me from here on out. And I genuinely wanted to help with no gain for myself. And I promise you that if you will go in to giving to people in that way, you're going to see growth as well. And then number three every single person, this is something that I mean, that you can learn this on every free and paid Instagram training that exists out there. But every single person that comments on your post, reply to them. I saw one of the people that I have loved for years and years and years, Amberly Lago. Something that I see her doing on her Instagram account is whenever I leave a comment, she replies to my comment on her account, and then she goes to my account and leaves a comment on one of my posts in return. And whenever you do that, what I notice personally is people will follow you when there's that second layer of response. So they might not follow you because you have necessarily replied to a comment on your post, but a lot of what I've done, and this leads me to number 4, is make something that someone can have for free, that you can help them solve a problem that they can't solve any other way. So like when I started making my worksheets, I started, the reason why I made worksheets for how to heal your nervous system in 6 steps, a roadmap for how to leave an abusive relationship that came with a quiz so that you could know if you're in an abusive relationship. Those 2 things came because I thought, I don't have time to do private coaching right now. And I still want to help these people. And I know that I need to create something that can help them as if they were on a private coaching call with me. And so I made those 2 PDFs from that energy of, I want this to solve every need, so they never have to give me $1. So they never have to hire me, so that they can literally get free help that's going to change their life forever, because I don't plan on ever being able to help them in the way that I know I could, because I'm not doing that right now. Right. And so I made those 2 PDFs, and they're definitely lead magnets, but they weren't a lead magnet that I ever planned on getting $1 from. And I still don't know how God is going to orchestrate all of this, because I also know that when you put out as much as I've put out, you can't put that out without some sort of financial return sometime in the future. I just literally have no plan for it. Like, I have no idea what any of this is ever going to lead into, but I do know that I'm helping a lot of people, and that this has become a service project for me that helps me feel so fulfilled, and has helped hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the last 90 days. And so, so number 3 and number 4 are kind of tied together. And that is, when someone comments like me, send me your worksheet, I say, I'm sending it to you. Then I send it to them in a private message and say, hi. Well, I have like my assistant, she'll go in and she'll be like, hi, I'm from Emily's team, and she asked me to get your email address so she can send you the worksheet. And then they give me their email, and then we manually send it out. I just told my team we need a new system, because it's literally like, I went through thousands of DMs just on Saturday this last weekend, and it's now become not manageable. Even Instagram itself, it can't even like I see why influencers, content creators, I see why they don't respond to DMs, because I'm at the point now where it's almost impossible for me to even see all the messages, because it doesn't let you scroll down that far. And when you do, it like boosts you back up, and then you can only respond to one, and then you have to take, I mean, it literally, I probably spent 6 hours on Saturday just trying to open my DMs, because it was so much. And then being able to send the messages, to get the emails, and then take the emails over, and then manually send out thousands of emails. Anyway, we need to figure out some automated system. And I know there are ways that we can do that. So that was like one of the things I assigned my Beyond the Rank team. I was like, okay, we've hit the point where we now need to automate this. Like, I can't be doing this. It's just, I literally would spend an 8-hour a day job just responding to DMs. And so, but when you have that second step of you reply in your comment, and then you do one more thing beyond that personalizes it to them, whether you send them a message in private DM, or you go on their page and leave a comment on their page, that's what I've noticed. And I didn't do this on purpose, But I've noticed that after that second step, they follow me if they aren't already. So it just gets double and triple and quadruple the amount of followers for you. And so a really easy way to sort of create that organically is to have something that you're putting out for someone, so that it's, I would just recommend it be something that never leads, like when you create it, that it's not something that's ever going to lead $1 back to you. Like create it in its entirety so that they never need something from you ever again. Because when you energetically give to people in that spirit, they will be attracted to you fiercely. And so this is my tip for you on how to grow your social media, how it ties in with growing your network marketing business. You're just one person and one reel away from growing your team by tens of thousands of people. It's true in network marketing. I now know it's true in social media growth. And one other thing, again, like I said, it's the last week of August. The year is 2023. Whenever you hear this down the road, right now, little tidbit. So I have a Facebook ad agency that runs all of my Facebook ads and Instagram ads for Beyond the Rank and Emily Gibson Coaching. And a couple of months ago, they said to me, Reels are having further reach on Facebook right now than anywhere else. So start putting your Reels over on Facebook and more people will follow you. And it's true. I have had an additional 5,000 new followers on Facebook. So now I'm up to over 10,000. I think it's like 10,400 followers I have on Facebook right now. And then last I checked, we were well over 24,000 followers on Instagram. Again, those numbers before July 3rd were just under 6,000 followers on Facebook and just under 17,000 followers on Instagram. So you can see how big of a difference it makes in a short amount of time with just one reel. The same is true for your network marketing business. One new leader, one new business builder coming onto your team, catching the vision, running with you with the systems that I teach you, 3-step duplication, 3-step recruiting, 7 foolproof steps to recruit in a recession, my PLP system, all these things are available to you inside of my paid community, by the way. If you are not inside, if you're not a member of Beyond the Rank paid community, you're totally missing out. I literally give you the easiest, most simple ways to grow your network marketing business that work no matter what your personality is, no matter how big your following is. It will take you from no momentum into massive momentum in 7 days or less. It is incredible. And it's all things that I have tried and tested for 10 years straight that now are available to you. If you're interested in learning about more, you can literally sign up. I do 2 free calls every single week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Usually the Tuesday call is at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and the Thursday call is at noon Mountain Time. So if you've been listening to this podcast for forever and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to come to Emily's free call. You want to learn how to get on the stage. You want to learn how to go to the top of your network marketing company. You want to learn how to just get unstuck. You can go to these free calls that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you want to register for those calls, go to my business Instagram account. It's at Emily Gibson Coaching, and it's linked in my profile there. That just click on it and it will show you what the next call is. You can register for it. I'll see you on the call. I teach you all about how to sign up for the community. I give you 75% off for joining on one of those calls. And then you can come into the community and I can work with you one-on-one in front of the group up to 3 times a week. It's magical. So if you're not in there yet, get in there. But it's no different than growing on social media. You're just one person away from everything changing in your business. And I promise you that if you will take these tips for how to grow your social media that I gave to you today and apply them to your social media from an energy of really just wanting to bless the people around you with something that's never going to come back and benefit you, and you take these extra steps, it's going to literally be a boomerang that's going to whip back around with more force and give you everything that you want in your business. So Thanks for tuning into the podcast today. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll catch you here next time. Bye, guys.